So today we're going to talk about how to change the battery in a Nikkormat EL, this camera right here. As many of you know, this camera is made by Nikon. Nikkormat was like the slightly less expensive version. They had the S. The consumer but still somewhat professional version was this Nikkormat. Uses Nikon F lenses, well made, and this was the first camera that Nikon made, first 35mm SLR they made that had a aperture priority auto exposure mode. It's got an auto exposure mode on there. These cameras work really well. They're very durable, but they have a little bit of a quirk. They have a battery that goes inside the mirror box, and many people, including people on YouTube, will tell you to take a screwdriver or a plastic tool to pry that battery out. We don't want to do that. It's a good way to damage a camera. So today we're going to just show you how I do it, and we're going to start by removing the lens. This is the lens release right here, as you know, and unlike a Canon, we do not turn it this way. Watch the direction I turn it. We turn it sort of clockwise, and then it should come off, but these lenses can be just a touch finicky because they have that little rabbit ear connection. Now, we got the lens off. Now you can look inside the mirror box and see the mirror, but we need to get the mirror up. This little device right here, this is the mirror lockup button, or sometimes called mirror pop-up button. So we push up gently, up the mirror goes up. We'll let it back down, do it one more time. And we're not pushing in, we're not pushing straight back into the camera. We're just putting our finger under it and just raising it up. There it goes. Now, once we've done that, we want to reach inside the mirror box here, okay? And right inside the box, there's a little tab right there. You see what I'm going to catch my finger on? Perhaps you can. I'm going to catch my finger on it and pull that tab back down and then raise the little lid up. Now there's the battery. At this point, some people tell you to take a screwdriver or a tool and pry the battery out. You don't have to do that. Just gently push that door back a little more and it unlatches the battery. It takes the tension off of it. So then when I turn the camera down, the battery just falls right out. See, the battery is gone. Now you can see the little area that it goes into, okay? Now, when you put your new battery in, you want to insert it so the little knobby part right there. See the little knobby part? It looks like a mirror there. It's got a positive sign on it. Well, that's that positive sign where the knobby's at. That is the positive end of the battery. Can't mess that up. It's got a little knob, positive symbol. Now, we want to get back into the mirror box at that. So we want to set our little camera up here, and I'm going to have to perhaps get at a strange angle so I can kind of see what I'm doing while I'm telling you about it. And we want to put the battery in there and just gently push it down and then pull that little lid shut. And then from there, we can just gently drop our mirror back down, okay? Now our battery's in there. We'll cock the camera, and we're good. Now, again, we don't want to use any tools to pry that battery out. Now, there's various YouTube videos that tell you to do that. They tell you to use a screwdriver, a small one, or a plastic tool. But the reason you don't want to do that is you don't want to put anything in there that's going to hurt that shutter. Now, that's a Copal square shutter. It'll last you a lifetime probably, unless you do something bad to it or you just have bad luck maybe or damage it. This shutter will last you a long time, probably a lifetime. So we don't want to put any tools in there, and we don't ever want to touch the shutter, even with our fingers, much less a tool. We want to always be careful not to touch the shutter in there. And the other thing we want to be careful of is that when we put our battery in there, we're going to raise this up one more time. And we're going to pop that battery out one more time just for the purpose of repetition. And it'll just come right out normally. There it went. Now, and again, the little knobby part, the positive there, see that part goes towards the side right here that has the shutter release. The knobby part goes that way. We do not ever want to put the battery in backwards. If we put the battery in backwards with the positive side pointing over here, if we were to do that, it would be backwards. And if we put the battery in backwards, not only will the camera not work, we will damage the battery or drain it very quickly. I don't know that it will damage the camera. Some people say it will, some say it might, some say it won't. It'll just drain the battery. But the way to avoid any risk of damaging the camera is to just put the battery in it properly. Always put it in properly by having the little knobby positive end pointed towards the side where the shutter release and the mirror pop-up buttons at, that way. And then when we put it in, we can see down into the little box there. We don't want to start the battery up here high where it falls back into the shutter. We actually want the camera kind of pointing down. We want to just ease our battery into the box like I did there. Then we can very carefully reach in there, very carefully, reaching no farther than need be to get the little battery door. Pull it down, you hear it click. Then we drop our shutter down, or then we drop our mirror down. Now our mirror's down, and from there, as you can imagine, I'm sure you know what's next, we can take our lens, stick it back on there, and then do the Nikon two-step that resets the camera's ability to read the proper range of aperture on there, which you can verify on the little scale up here on the side. Now, on this side. And that's how the old pre-AI cameras work. But that's not really important. What we're concerned about right now is how to change that battery, which we have done. And I hope this helps you, because there's some misinformation out there on the internet and on YouTube about using screwdrivers and tools and poking them in there and prying the battery out. And while that might work, and it might work just fine for the people promoting that idea, it is not the best way to do it, and it is a very good way to damage your shutter or to damage some other inner workings of your camera. Proper way to do it is the way that I just demonstrated to you. I hope that helps so that you can enjoy your Nikkormat EL. These are a great camera, great cameras. The exposure meter on them works so well that it's one of my favorite cameras to shoot slide film with. And as many of you know, slide film, the exposure must be dead on 100%. You can't miss it by a few stops and get good results. And I have managed to get great results shooting slide film with my Nikkormat EL. And likewise, I've managed to get great results shooting black and white film pushed to 1600 in low light with this camera. Very versatile camera. It's quite heavy by camera standards. I mean, some of the other cameras of this era, like the FM and the FE, if you pick this and them up at the same time, you immediately know this is a very heavy and well-built camera. Nikon really built them to last. So hopefully that we'll all be able to make our EL cameras last, our Nikkormat ELs. Hopefully we'll be able to make them last for many years and get some good pictures with them and take care of them. And I think one of the best ways to do that is to handle them carefully, including carefully doing the battery change, battery swap. We don't want to stick any tools in there. So let's just do it carefully and correctly and make these old cameras last and keep them around and enjoy them for many more years and shoot a bunch of film. I hope this helps. And I thank you for watching. And I hope everybody has a nice day and checks back soon. And we'll try to get some more videos up that will hopefully be helpful to people that enjoy film photography and love these old cameras. All right? So thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.